Hey,
What are you wearing? You wearing Star Wars pajamas you have or something?
join me in the
Yeah.
on the dark side. Whatever the hell they say, I don't
Joe has started his emotional phase of his career, of his artistry here on Proper Cup of Joe. How are
know.
you, man?
I'm good. There's usually it's just natural lighting that I use, the great lighting that I use on the show every week.
Brings out your
And then
general sunshine. Yeah.
yes, of course, and it's just super cloudy, so it's it's dark. So I thought I'd put up my hood, get some Sith vibes going. Just stole
Yeah.
your line.
Yeah. I don't really understand how the whole storyline works of, Siths and Jedis and Vaders and all that sort of thing. But I think that is he a bad guy, or is he one of those double cross dudes that like where you think he's a bad guy, but he turns out to be a really like insightful old dude of wisdom?
When they were
What
like,
am I talking about? I don't even know who I'm
I don't
talking
know,
about.
when there were like 6 movies, I could answer that question, but now there's like
Oh, it's
12
99, right?
and now there's
Yeah.
a bunch of shows and I don't know what the hell's going on.
Right, right.
So I'm gonna put
Okay. Well, yeah, underneath the hood, how you doing?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I had a
Did you get a
long weekend off of work. It's good. What's up?
did a new little scally cap there, man?
I actually got 3 new scally caps.
Hey, good for
Yes.
you. I like it. Yeah. All right. Cool. I
That can be
notice
my
these
one
things, man.
thing.
That is where do you get yours? That's always a great topic among the hat people, myself included. I don't have mine on today, but where do you source yours?
Boston Scally
Hmm.
is what it's called. Do you get them from there?
I have one, and I wear that hat like an old pair of underwear. I'll wear it till it disintegrates. It doesn't, I've got another. It's felt. It's felt wool. It's never gonna. I
Right.
don't even know where I got it from. It might actually be Boston Scally though. I mean, I
This
got it.
is this is like yeah, it's Boston Scally, and this is called. They have all different styles, and it's called their trainer. So it's a
Okay.
it's 6 panel. People don't know if you wear these hats. There's like all different, there's like
Yeah. So
slightly different styles.
mine is one, and like over the years, the wool kind of like has conformed to my head. It's great in the winter. I wear it endlessly in the winter, but it's impossible in the summertime, man. It's
So
just too
yeah,
hot.
so I have one of my favorite hats is like a wool hat, and then in the summertime I can't wear it, and I got like angry because the other ones I have like I don't know, they have like some stains from my head juices and stuff.
Angry, you got angry. Okay. All right, and head juices. My goodness, man. Okay.
So this is a really light. This is called their trainer. It's a really light material,
Yeah.
super light, and it's breathable. It's a good
Here you
summertime
go.
galley. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So I ordered 3, and they're slightly expensive. So it's a little indulgence that I have.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they all arrived on Monday, and I was very excited about it.
Well, as you should be, and they're good hats. Like something could. My video is drives me bonkers. I did a show earlier this week, and I think Robert's actually in the audience, and he was like, "For as many shows as you do, just get it fixed." And he's right. I've just about had enough of this camera
On Adam.
HDMI issue. I know if I could just get my actions together, but my actions, my act. But if the hat lasts you 3, 4, 5 years, it's not that expensive then. I mean, like how much could it be that it would be an outrageous price if it's going to last you 5 years, you know?
I prefer not to say.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
No,
they're
they're upwards of $40.
yeah, but they're under 100, right?
Yeah, $40 is around where they are.
Okay, so they're gonna cost you under $10 a year for joy. Get joy,
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
like it.
buy
That's a good
yourself a
way to
little
look at
joy.
it. See,
Seriously, yeah.
you know how to set things straight, especially
Well, it's
with
like
the monetary stuff.
buying a Toyota. Put a little more up front because it's just going to last you forever, and you don't have to. You're not going to be dead on the side of the road in it. Anyway, um, I guess my one thing would be, I reconfirmed that it is bloody hot on the East Coast, man. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's everywhere outside of Minnesota, but my God, it's hot, man.
Yeah,
I went,
so you traveled. How was that? How was the whole thing?
it was great, man. I had, airlines are easy to dump on, but it was really great. July 5th turns out is a great hack of a day to travel. Ghost town in the airport, man. I'm just bebopping through
Really?
security. I was hanging out with the Southwest ladies at the gate, talking about how I can get a guitar on the plane. They told me, yeah, bring it. Just come straight to the gate with it. Don't even worry what they tell you. Just come on, bring the guitar next time. And I
Really?
said, okay. Yeah. Had a fun time with the Southwest crew. And then, so I fly into Baltimore. Good experience. Then I walk out of the baggage claim area and the wall of heat like punches me in the face. I was like, my God, how do people live this way, man? It was hot.
Like different from what you remember in Florida, though?
Yeah, but you forget it so quick, but like yesterday, the high here was 76. Like it's a lovely
And
summertime, man. It's
yeah, and
beautiful,
it's
man.
breezy probably, and there's
Well,
low
I mean, we
humidity or no?
no, actually, it's very high humidity. We've had so much rain, man.
Oh, really?
The rivers are still flooded. There's mosquitoes, just walls of mosquitoes because of all the water, But no, I had a great time up at Warfels Morphs cookout. I think the weather kept some people away, but we had a great crowd, great friends, and it was cool to get out. I think one of the here's really the meat and the substance to the one thing. It's good to get out of our own little circles sometimes and experience a little bit of a different perspective. And let me tell you, if you need a different perspective, people from Pennsylvania, people from Pennsylvania and Jersey, they got some perspective and opinions to share with you, man. It is Minnesota has this fine art of like this passive communication. There is no such thing as that in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Jersey.
Can you explain that a little bit? What's the difference? Like, what would be? I mean, just they're opinionated about politics, or they're opinionated about taboo subjects, or just everything. Just like
everything is
this
is
doesn't taste
100
good.
yeah, everything is 110, and excuse the expression, but everybody's ass is going to get kicked over something. This so and so, I'm gonna kick his ass. And I'm like, dude, you're not going to kick all this ass. You're not going to kick any ass. You're just complaining, So,
No asses will be kicked.
Yeah, you're not going to go fight anybody over this. Stop it. But you can't say that because then you're the guy who's going to get their ass kicked.
Oh, you better watch out. You don't think I can kick some ass? I'll kick some ass.
Right. Yeah, I'll show you right now. I'll do it right here right now. Who wants to see it? Who says he's not going to, it's a mile a minute, man. So you got to kind of be like mentally revved up a little bit on that. But it was fun.
And then you played though. You played?
Yeah, I got a big shout out to Phil there. Phil Snyder at Fingersnakes BP. He's a phenomenal guitarist, and like I chunk away at chords and I tell stories and that kind of stuff. And he's just ripping like, Steve Vai, Satriani kind of solos, man. It was great.
Face melting.
Oh yeah. Lots of face melting. Yeah. On top of the heat. We're melting face with, with guitars. So, we played, we waited till the hottest part of the day. We decided 3 p.m. in the afternoon with no shade. Would be in jeans and Doc Martens. Also, great uniform I chose for the day. There,
you gotta hold on to your style no matter what the
brand, man. Yeah, I mean, if there's
style
guitar,
over comfort every time. That's what I say.
That's the branding, man. You can't let it go.
That's the branding. Yes.
All right. Well, it was fun, but look, we're gonna need every bit of time this morning, Joe. You're gonna have so many thoughts and questions and need clarity and all of that, man. This is
Yeah, you keep on you like I don't know the story. Maybe everybody in the community knows the story. Is that how
They do. Yeah,
that's how popular
you're the
this is?
only guy that doesn't know. Like you're the star of the show today because everybody is looking to you for the reaction, for the we need clarity. Are we just like in our little wormhole of a community on this thing? You know.
So you're excited to tell me. You ever have like that you know, like there's a bit of information that you're excited to tell people and maybe it's negative, like this celebrity died or something. I always like to get the jump on other people to tell others.
Yeah, you know when you're
It's like
like
a little
hanging out.
feeling like I'm telling you, I know
I'm
stuff.
gonna tell you, yeah. But you try and be polite, like you let them have a little bit of small talk where you're just like totally not engaged. Like, yep, yep. Okay, now listen up. Here's the deal. You're
So
over beers
wait,
or whatever.
so pop quiz, where do I get my hats?
Boston Scally.
Hey, you were listening.
I was listening. I do care. I do care. All right.
All right, so
Well,
what happens? What
yeah,
I'm so excited about this. What happened?
Joe, you got to interrupt all along the way. You got to get the full clarity. And all right, so let me give a couple disclaimers. One, well, you'll hear the story. I mean, I was going to say everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but when the person sort of acknowledges, as you'll hear in this story, they're kind of guilty. But I'm jumping the gun here, so let's say that, and then I'm sure the audience will say it because there's tons of puns about it. But I'm probably not going to say. I don't feel like getting sued and that stuff. But the brand of the perpetrator has the word insane in their brand, but it's like a hip spelling, you know, it's like just the letter N, sane. So that was the one pun in the description. It was it was an insane episode. So there's a pretty big show on the West.
Okay. I was wondering.
Yeah. And except I think I spelled it normal, but you know, I'm not that hip. I don't change the way things are spelled. So, there's a big show in Pomona, California.
That's a big
in LA.
indication of hip.
It is. It's usually with an X or a Z, you know. But yeah, we just went in. So
I feel like this is so complicated. I'm getting what's that? I got some
notes.
pen and paper to write down notes. Yeah.
Here we go. I'm gonna try and use like all my best like Perry Mason you know descriptors, caper, perp, the victims. So Pomona, California,
I like
LA,
that.
LA Pet Fest. Go ahead.
I like that your most recent you think of a lawyer show and you're the one that you pick is Perry Mason from the 50s.
I told you I don't watch much television. Yeah, pick any of the 99 since then. Was it Ice Cube in one of them? He's gonna get to the bottom of it. Like Ice Cube is the new Perry Mason, is that correct?
It's Ice-T.
No, Ice-T, not Cube. Cube's got to have one too, doesn't he? No? T? I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, Scooby-Doo, we'll go with them. They always have perpetrators. So
Scooby-Doo. I mean, that's perfect. Yes.
Yeah, if it weren't for those darn kids, he'd have gotten away with it in this community. So all right. This is the Pomona LA Pet Fest. Used to be called the Pomona Super Show. They rebranded. It doesn't matter. That's a minor point.
LA Pet Fest.
Theme was the LA Pet Fest. It was hot as a long day on a blah blah blah. So there's a group of guys that are vending together, and one of them has a snake that I don't know if it's the only one in the world, but it's new enough and just about, and it's probably the only one for sale in the world. And
wait, what's for sale? I'm sorry.
This snake, it's one of the only ones in the world. It's called a clown sunset. It's a double visual recessive that either hasn't been made before or certainly hasn't been made for sale before. I can't remember if it was a male or a female. If it's a male, it's very valuable. I mean, it's always very valuable. It was marked at $15,000 and then marked down to $10,000 if somebody wanted to buy it. And the thing about this snake is when you go to these shows and you spectate, or if you have a little Instagram or a podcast, you might video the snake because it makes great content. So everybody was videoing and taking pictures of this snake. Comes time to wrap up the day. Comes time to get home.
What does the snake look like?
Oh, that's a whole different caper. We're not going to.
Okay.
That's a whole different thing. Yeah, there's all sorts of opinions on that of whether people. Yeah, we'll do a sunset episode one day, but we gotta.
Clown sunset.
It's a clown sunset. So,
okay.
And this is where some of the details get a little bit foggy, but as I understand it, all the snakes were packed into bags, put into a shipping box, shipped home, get home, no snake. Snake is gone. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Or what's the CSI, the thing that they do, like the bang, bang sound?
It's Law and Order. But
Law and Order. There it is. Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm talking about then. So the snake is gone. Now,
where so this was Pomona that go to where?
I don't know where home is for this particular person. Somebody in the audience will know. We'll crowdsource this thing, but I guess it's not California because they were shipping. And what happens is it starts popping up in the community Instagram. Snake stolen. Find this snake. And Joe, it's so rare that literally you couldn't like move it. It's the only one out there. So you wouldn't have been able to, what do they call it? Fence it, where you get rid of it kind of deal at like a pawn shop or whatever. You couldn't do it because everybody would know where it is. And it's such a high caliber snake. If you used it to produce offspring, everybody knows there's only a handful of these out there. So the lineage, everybody knows the provenance of where these animals would be coming from. And so, in my opinion, the crime was horribly thought out because what the heck? Movies like the gangster movie, it's too hot. We got to get out of town. Like the snake was so hot. There was nothing to do with it. And like, you can't wait for like 10 years for it to not be hot and then sell it, because in 10 years, it's not going to be worth that value. It's not worth setting on.
Okay. Yeah. So is everybody experiencing Adam freezing up, or
man, do I have connection issues? No, it's me. It's my internet acting up.
Okay.
All right, we could try again. The person that it was stolen from, they start posting in the community that it's stolen, but they also call the police and they file a police report. And I don't know what it is, but this is a really important moment in the story. For whatever reason, the police start making phone calls to the vendors in the area as a courtesy, I think. I was going to say to get permission, but you don't need, I don't think they would need the permission. Somebody will clarify or understand what's going on here with exactly with the police. But the police call everybody in the footage or in the area and say, just so you know, we're going to start reviewing the footage and we're probably going to share some of it publicly. We need to let you know that is what happens.
Okay.
And then the guy that took the snake gets antsy because the police call him. They don't know that they've got their guy, but they call and say, hey, heads up, we're going to be sharing footage. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
So he calls, the perpetrator calls, as this is all as I understand it now in the time frame, calls the guy that he took the snake from and says, hey, I got your snake. It was a prank. I gotcha. And I think, as I understand it, the guy whose snake was taken gets furious, thinks that his time is being wasted because he knows the guy. It's his buddy. It's another guy that he was vending with. They all had a
They all know each other?
island. No, they not only know each other, they were like, it'd be like you and I opening a shop selling, snakes together, and you're stealing snakes from me in the shop.
Okay.
And so the guy goes, "Don't screw with me. I don't have time for this right now," or whatever. Hangs up on him. And another, we're still, the whole community is still sharing these, talking about it. Where's the sunset clown? Who's going to do what with this thing? Like, it's going to come up. You don't just suddenly pop one of those. Oh, I've secretly been working on this. Ta-da. No, that's not true. Especially when one was just stolen. So, then a day or two later, the guy, the perp, I think he posted, but he somehow communicated to the guy who's owned the stolen snake. The story changes. Hey, I have your snake because the guy who stole it only trusted me, but he feels really bad and wants to remain anonymous. I'm gonna broker the return of your snake. So the guy says, "Give me my snake." And he does. The snake is returned. The snake is alive. And then once the snake was safely returned, the owner not unleashes. The owner actually, I think, has been pretty graceful and fairly quiet, but he shares this series of events and episodes that is happening behind the scenes with kind of key players who have been letting all of these details out. And the aftermath is that this insane perpetrator has just been getting massacred in memes in the industry. I believe he's been kicked off a morph market,
Really?
Well, big platforms are now having to feel like they have to be. They look bad if they don't take action, but they don't want to be the police. Who wants to be the police? Nobody wants to. Like if he was here in the room, I don't want to be the one that says you can't come here, but I'd be like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, if you come here and show your face, like, you're just going to get, I'm not going to call the dogs off. I'll tell you that much,
Yeah.
So I haven't looked up the laws. Somebody could Google it, and I'm afraid to touch my computer right now because of my connections, which I'm going to rip apart and redo here. But I think it's $2,000 when it comes to livestock or animals. But it's grand theft. It's grand theft. It's a felony.
Yeah.
And what I was saying earlier is the story that the guy's saying is, no, it's just a prank, man. Nothing's wrong. It's just goofing off among friends and that kind of thing. But it was only after it only became a prank after the police started making phone calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is where the challenge all comes. So and that's where we are. I don't know the status of charges or if people want to make charges. And I saw it was kind of it was a meme, and so it's you got to be careful how you take these things. But this guy wasn't screwing around. Like he's selling. Why would you steal a $10,000 snake if you're selling 10,000? Like the value of his animals, he was pretty well known for
Really?
his clown projects. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know the equivalency in my world because those snakes are worth far more value if you can find a buyer. But those, the sticker price is far more valuable than anything that I deal in. But it would be like me creating some such unforced error where my whole media platform crumbled in overnight. Like everything I'd worked for years would be just totally gone. He can't operate in the industry anymore. Nobody will let him vend. Like the show banned him. The show circuits say don't vend. Like nobody's going to trust him. He can't even sell his collect. I don't know who. Like I think if I bought his collection, I think everybody would be furious, so that as be seen as like bailing him out and even helping him as he walks out the door.
So this is so all right. Yeah. I mean, so is the actual is there some kind of investigation happening to figure out what the actual story is?
Oh, I think I suspect the police are. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. And I haven't seen. Somebody will know, but I haven't seen if the owner has taken a "Hey, I'm done. Whatever happens, happens"
Yeah.
stance,
Yeah.
or it's yeah, cops, go get them. Let's go. Let's take this to a DA or whatever we do. I'm not sure where that lands, and I don't I don't know what I would feel if I were the one that went through that.
Yeah,
That's
what so that was my first question. What would so you're a reasonable guy.
not when I'm
And
mad though.
yeah, I know, but
Right.
so we think of like one of your friends and you know the person and really have that friend in mind when I ask you this question and they do something stupid like this. What's your reaction? And you don't know if it was really a prank or if they're trying to broker something. What's your reaction?
So the one part I can't undo is the part where you say you don't know if it really was a prank or not. There was
Yeah.
enough time and enough posts and enough concern and worry that if, in my opinion, in my feeling, my opinion, if it were a prank, the window had long closed on acceptable prankness. Like,
Okay.
and I'm sure we've all taken something too far in our prank days of nonsense. That's almost the essence of a prank. Like the best pranks do go a little too far sometimes. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man. 10, $15,000 asset, true concern, true distraction in the whole community. My question at that point would not be, was it a prank or what was the intention? It would be, um, at least get away from me. We're probably done. Like I would be hurt, like
Right.
heartbroken to
Yeah.
lose a friend. And that's where I would be stuck with going, do I let what happens happens? This guy's already ruined his brand. He's going to have to go. He's lost his community. He's lost his friends. He's lost his credibility. So he's got to go like back to normal life or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
I
you
mean,
know,
but if he's a guy who's dealing or somebody who's dealing with this type of animal to begin with, right?
yes,
He knows that he can't really do anything
right.
with this snake at all. Like he's in that world, not only just the breeding world, he's in the world of high end exotic.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I mean, there's I just don't think that the intention would be to steal and to gain money out of it because there's no way that he could do it.
Uh,
Correct?
Hindsight being, well, yes, but let's think about any other stupid criminal thing. How many criminal things have we seen where we go, that
Right.
was
Yeah.
dumb. You weren't going to do anything with that. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
you know, so what I don't know is, um, well, first, is this the first and only time, or has this happened before? Is he,
Ooh,
is this something he does? Maybe
yeah.
he knows something we don't know. Maybe he did say, you know what? I own a clown and I own a sunset, so I could tell some lies about the lineage and the provenance, but all the while, actually, I could just make it that I've been hitting amazing odds. But,
Mm.
I could, in your mind, you start, I don't know, but, maybe he's playing out these things or trying to figure out. Um, and I'll say, this is not me trying to bail the guy out. I'm amazed that snake is alive. Like, if somebody panicked, you could duck everything just by disposing. Like, okay, well, I guess snake's gone. Can't do anything with it, but I ain't gonna
Yeah.
have my name attached to it. So, I think it was a really great I don't know if it was a tactic, a strategy, or just dumb luck, but it was a great moment by the cops to say, we're going to be reviewing and sharing surveillance. Because if you get caught with it and you don't have it, then you're, animal cruelty, rightly so. Then you're in an even bigger mess. So, the other thing I think of is like, can you imagine being a grown adult realizing that you've done something so childish, so stupid, so consequential? Like, what an unforced error to deal with in life, I think.
Right. Yeah. But also, so this last comment, our dad's gone crazy. How close were they?
I can't speak to that. I know one of the vendors that was one of the four, kind of personally. I talked to him time to time, and he's been on the show and whatnot. I don't know the others. I don't know if put it this way, you don't group up and vend together. It's not like a golfing foursome. You show up alone and they're like, we're going to put you with this foursome. When you buy a table, it's your own. And matter of fact, most shows, not most, some of the big shows actually put dividers between you and every other vendor around. So it actually takes an effort to call and say, give us an island of 8 tables. 4 of us are going to vend together. They had merged their display. Actually, I was trying to figure out how they did it, because it looked like they had printed one display with all 4 logos. But I mean, those displays are $500-600 a piece. So they had overlapped it strategically to look that they were all together. So, I mean, I got to think they were pretty tight. I mean, put it this way, there's only one other guy that I vend with. I mean, that's Chris at BNS that I vend with. I think they at least had a relationship, or somebody had vouched for somebody else or something. It'd be like if, at minimum, if you knew a great guy and you thought I was a great guy, and the 3 of us were going to go do something, and we all go, all right, Joe says it's cool. It's cool. Somewhere it got pretty uncool pretty fast.
So I got a few things floating around in my head. So number one is, because as a person who's still outside the community,
right?
It's a snake to me, and it's not like I have to make the jump from snake to money, because you guys, I think, easily see snakes as commodities or products that you're selling. So you easily see the dollar sign when you look at a snake. So in my mind, I have to make that leap. That's a conscious leap, because if it's just a snake, then it's kind of believable that somebody goes, I'm going to take it. But so my question is, you and Chris are vending at a show, and you've got 25, or what is it, $10,000. Is it funny for Chris to steal 10? Now you're showing off the $10,000. You're going, I have $10,000. Look at this. Wow, this is $10,000. If Chris goes, there's a lot of talk about this $10,000. I'm just gonna, when he's not looking, I'm gonna take the $10,000 and just see what happens. That doesn't add up. Doesn't add up.
No.
And I don't think anybody in the community believes that that's what happened. Correct? Everybody just thinks that's some kind of story, right?
It's a definite story. Yes, that's what and I can't say definite. Yes, that is the strong belief from the timing and context of the police call. So let me give you a couple points to consider. So yes, it has a dollar value. Yes, there is the commodity factor. Yes, there's we have our own personal bias about how much we love a snake because we're into snakes. The other thing to consider, again, is the scarcity of the snake. Not only the scarcity, but the time it would have taken. Joe, the math would be, I think the quickest that they probably came to this snake was it's 3 to 4 generations of creating the snake, which means it's a 10 to 11 to 12 year effort.
It's
Now
a prize. It's like a prized possession. It is.
that's right.
It's a draw. It's a thing that
yeah,
they've been working on, and it
right.
is a yeah.
They might not have done it from scratch. You could buy up some ingredients along the way, but you're spending definitely into the mid to high four figures if you're buying the ingredients. So you've either bought the ingredients at a very, very high price along the way, or you've spent all the time um, doing it. Another point of the only thing that I can think that is similarly relatable. There's a local gentleman that has been sort of a great friend and sort of a mentor to me here locally. He produces, so this was a double visual. He produces some triple visuals that have never been produced before. And he's kind enough to show them to me and that kind of thing. He would let me hold it. I have yet to even touch one of his snakes, even when it's one-on-one and it's him. Like
Okay.
I'll come film, I'll come, if I buy rats or we do some business or I bought some breeders from him, or, sometimes I just go up to his place to keep up relationships and that kind of thing, or to see what he's got going on. We're, like I say, we're friends too. I don't even touch the animal, and I'm thinking on like a bacterial level that I don't care how much I wash my hands. I don't need
Right.
to
You
hold it.
don't.
I don't
Yeah.
need to touch it. I know what a snake
Ah.
feels like.
Okay.
I
Okay.
want to
Okay.
see this thing, but there's also that sort of respect factor and care. And I think that's part of why our relationship is strong, because he knows that care is there. And that's before I knew that somebody was stealing these things. It never even
Yeah.
entered my mind that I'm not touching it because I'm not going to steal it. I'm not touching it because
Right.
I have
Yeah.
no need to touch it. There's no,
That's a great point. Yeah.
yeah. It'd
Yeah.
be
That's
like,
a great point. And you can see, but you can see how it takes me a little bit more time
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
see that the prank thing is unbelievable. And
Right.
I don't think that's because I mean it could be because I'm naive and I give people the benefit of the
Well,
doubt.
right. We all want to have
But
a good, we try and rationalize it. We try and say, hey, people are good. Hey, these were friends. There must have been something good about the person. They liked him. They're vending together.
it's more about this. I think it's more about this thing of being like, well, it's a show. I don't see it as my lifestyle and my livelihood.
Right.
So it takes me a little bit more time and see that kind of comment. Like I don't want the bacteria hurting the
Yeah.
snake.
There's
Like I
no,
wouldn't even think of that to go. Oh yeah, okay. So even handling the snake, having somebody handle the snake is kind of I don't know.
no.
Like at the show, the guy who had the snake, he's not taking it out and giving it to people and show it like no, he wouldn't do that.
Probably not. Although, if not that I'm anybody, but say somebody that has a really big media presence, a guy named Brian Cusco comes to the table and he's filming. Sure, you're
Okay,
going to
yeah,
take it
yeah,
out. You're going to show you're going to build your brand. If
yeah.
um, a good example would be like one of these museum quality guitars.
Okay.
I've played a 59 Les Paul before. Actually, it was a 58. But anyway, these six-figure $1 million guitars. When I see one or somebody owns one, I don't ask them, can I play it? There's almost an etiquette. If they
Okay, okay. Yeah,
offer,
yeah.
hey, would you like to play it? Oh, gosh, all right. And actually, almost 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go no. But I've heard these things feel like riding a unicorn. So I figured, hey, let me take a ride on this 58 Les Paul. I might not ever
Yeah.
get a chance.
And these two breeders would have an understanding of that etiquette, no matter what.
Oh, to go back to your example of if Chris and I are vending together.
Yeah.
Let me flip the tables. Chris owns that snake and I'm vending with him. There
Yeah.
is zero chance that my key goes anywhere near that lock. There is zero chance that somebody comes along and goes, hey, can I take a look at that? And I go, yeah, sure. That'd be fun. Let's pull this out. No, never. I mean, like I say, it'd be like you're at a concert and you see, Jimmy Page's guitar and you're a roadie and you're like, you know what? Let me try my stairway chops real quick. Nobody will care. It just doesn't,
Right.
that's not gonna work that way. Now something I think that's interesting. Phil brings it up. It was amazing how fast the community like latched onto this, and then with the aftermath has just been brutal, almost to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, let the cops handle or whatever this, I'm not going to buy from the guy. I don't think he deserves a shot in the industry, but that's him. He's got to figure it out. But what struck me was, what's the great expression, back in the day, it wasn't that long ago that sort of thing would have been like, well, that's on you, dude. You let this thing out of your sights. Like, somewhere there was an opportunity that somebody took this, and I'm not like victim blaming or shaming here. The guy shouldn't have taken a snake, but it wasn't that long ago where like you knew, because there was all sorts of dirty handed players, you just don't screw around, and that snake wouldn't have come back, man. I mean, it was a real, like I said, it was a real like tactical moment for the police to make public that, hey, we're going to share all this footage, and it's a very big building with and to this day I haven't seen any footage of them actually taking it. So it was almost a mental play versus the actually having it. But
so is the guy who stole it, is he local to Pomona?
I don't know where he's at. I think he's in California, but I'm not 100% sure. But like I say, he's very well known. Yeah.
So, okay. So that's the first excuse. This guy takes the snake, he gets scared, and he goes, "It was a prank. I'm going to contact the guy who I stole it from." And the guy says, "Listen, I don't even believe you. Don't mess with me." And then he changes the story. The story is then, I'm going to broker the return of the snake between the person who stole it and me.
Yeah, I'm going to swoop in and save the day.
Why? Yeah. Okay. Why, if he knew that there was footage?
Oh, but then, and I'm sorry,
somebody else knows this stole the snake.
I don't know. But now it's back to, it was just a prank. That's the,
now it goes back to, it's just a prank.
Yeah. So we're on the third incarnation of the excuse or the explanation. Yeah. So, but that's where, remember earlier when you're like, well, if none of this makes sense, it sort of points to a prank. None of it makes sense because it was a dumb, impulsive thing, I think, it was,
well, pranks can be impulsive.
Oh yeah, pranks can be totally stupid, and I am the guy. Like, I've done some stupid impulsive pranks.
Yeah, but where you go, oh shoot, this cannot be a prank. Just don't think that this can be a prank.
It could have been a prank, but it wasn't the next day. It wasn't the afternoon. It wasn't, oh crap, this dude's gonna treat me like a Philly guy and kick my ass. It wasn't until the cops, like, if it's a prank and your friends, like, what I mean? And I realize sometimes you go, oh man, I'm way in over my head. But like, as an adult with a brand, and Troy brings up a good point that I actually want to make a note on here as well. It's too many ships sailed for it to feel prankish to me. And I know if I come here to have this discussion with you, I shouldn't just slam every door. So I'm going to work this through with you. But here's the other thing that Troy brings up. Thievery is not uncommon. It's that it was such established person with so much to lose in the end. If you're just a schmuck strolling through the show that is a klepto and can't control themselves, it doesn't make it.
And
better.
Where you don't, like somebody like me that doesn't know all of these things, doesn't sees it as a snake rather than
you just see something shiny or whatever.
Right.
Whereas this guy knows that. Yeah, it'd be like all those analogies I talked about. It'd be like me visiting somebody and doing something dumb in their facility, or getting an amazing chance. Like, I got the lucky opportunity on 2 occasions to open for Flogging Molly. I don't walk up to their guitarist and just grab his guitar and, like, it's just the etiquette and the sense of it all.
Right. Yeah.
not only would it be the last time I ever got to open for those guys, I would never be able to open for anybody of any name because the world is too small in that genre, in that world, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, to me, it's different than the dummy with the stroller, or we've all seen, you might not have, Joe, but it's very common to see surveillance footage of, like, it's really awkward, but they'll like grab a tortoise and shove it in their purse. Like you just walk around with a stolen tortoise in your purse, you know, like, I'm like, what the heck, man?
Right. Right.
But so that's where it all just gets so, so nuts. And again, the timing of it for me was where the challenge was.
So when did he change his story from "I'm going to broker this the the transfer of the snake back to the original owner" to "Oh yeah, it was just a prank"? When did that happen?
I'm not sure. And I'd have to say, all these explanations have come second, third, fourth, fifth hand. The actual guy has not posted publicly about it. All that. Yeah, there's t-shirts, man. Look at this. Yeah. This is Mike at Herp Collectors, but I think it was Jerome at No Limit Royals. They made a shirt, and we're going to raise money for US Arc with the hashtag "not a prank." Like, I assure you that, like, Schaumburg, I don't know, it's maybe too soon. Schaumburg's this weekend, but the next big show, you're going to see black t-shirts that just say "not a prank" all over them.
So
Yeah,
this has really captured the community. This is
big time.
really, and so, and what, yeah, I mean, I can understand why it would capture the community because it's such, but what are the attributes of the story that are so incredulous that like, is it because it was a $10,000 snake or $15,000 snake, or is it because of the stupidity that was involved in it?
It's all of the above, and I think it's the special sauce of somebody that's pretty well respected,
Yeah,
or at
I
least the
see what you're saying.
people,
Balls and strikes.
that he was vending with. So there's a guy named KG that has a brand called Bomb Projects. KG is one of the, like, the best dudes in the industry, doing incredible stuff, looks out for everybody.
Mhm.
He's one of the guys that was at the table, and he was one of the guys that led the charge of, hey, this snake is stolen. Talk about having a platform and getting something done with it.
Yeah, right, right.
KG is the one that kind of I knew the best. The other vendors are very well known too. So yeah, as Brandon says, mostly the fact that they were friends, like, all of it together, you start just going, like, you knew as a breeder, you know what it takes to build that snake. And most
Yeah.
of us literally can't do it because of the time or the money resources. So it was either a literal fortune to build that snake, or a fortune
Right.
in time to build that snake. They were friends. The audacity of the ridiculous action, not to mention the audacity of the story. And then us all trying to piece it together, where we just go, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
And none of us can really understand what the hell the person was thinking.
Because it's so, yeah, it's so backwards. It's so there's no way, there's nothing that even if it was a prank, stupid prank, but it's definitely not a prank. I've been convinced. I understand it's not a
Judge Joe rules. Dun dun dun.
prank. Not that I'm just an outsider looking in, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've been convinced. But yeah, what could you have done? And it brings me to the point you brought up earlier. What has this person done in the past as well to
Right.
garner the collection that he has?
Yeah.
It's funny because I hear this story and I go, "Oh my gosh, what a stupid thing!" And I have for some reason I have empathy for this the person who stole it for some reason, because everything that he's worked for is now that there's a group of people going, no, you're not involved in with this community
Right.
anymore.
And we've all
And
done
I'm
something.
always
Yeah, we've all
yeah,
done something stupid. We
right,
all have regret that we wish we hadn't done.
yeah,
But it ain't this magnitude. I mean, there's a
but
reason we
there's
have,
consequences,
yeah,
yes,
and
and
there's a
the
reason we have misdemeanors and felonies in life. Like, nobody says it, but you can get away with a couple misdemeanors if you do right and you get on the right path. Felony's pretty hard, man.
The thing is, if it's there's this view where it's a crime, whatever, but the intent really matters. The intent does matter. And the intent, yeah, not a prank, hashtag, not a prank. And how could you have done this? How could you have made that choice if you're not somebody who is prone to do that type of thing? Now, the other thing, though, I could be convinced as well, if people actually know this person and he's like one of the best guys that people know, then you go, okay, so let's examine the intent a little bit more, right? I mean, that's what you would do. I mean, if you knew this guy and he was like one of the best guys, like
Right.
like the integrity of Adam.
Yeah.
Like if for some reason you did something insanely stupid like this, I could be convinced that yeah, it was just a stupid thing, and there was no intent to profit off of it or something. So I'm wondering what do people think of this guy? What's the character of this person? So I mean, I'm not anybody who can pass judgment like this.
Sure.
It's like
Yeah.
like tongue in cheek to go, oh, I'm going to preside over this. But there
Right.
is part of this which is like, what's the character? Oh, what's the like? Let's show this guy's character and let's understand this guy's character. And does that fit with the character of this person?
Yeah, and I can't speak to that. I don't know him. I've never interacted with him. He's never been on my show. I know you're trying to ask a serious question, but in all of his interviews, he always wears like sunglasses inside, which really makes me wonder sometimes. I always find that a questionable trait. So like how terrible is that, right? Like this is what I'm basing my judgment on. I'm like, of course it's not a prank. The dude wears sunglasses in the house. Like,
yeah, if you wear sunglasses inside, yeah, there's something congruent with stealing a $10,000 snake.
I don't know why, but I have such a deep-seated opinion of that. Even this weekend when I was flying to Baltimore, like I had these aviators, like I'm an aviator sunglasses kind of guy. I don't have a case for them, so they were on my head the whole time when I'm traveling. And I remember I wanted to sleep on the plane, and so I put my sunglasses on the plane, and I couldn't sleep because I was like, these people all think I'm one of these guys that wears sunglasses inside. So I took them off my head and laid them on my lap, and then proceeded to try and sleep on the plane.
So in terms of his character, we have one attribute that we can
That's
say.
all I know.
Yeah.
I don't have any other attributes to be inside to give any insight to. Snake X, I don't know the answer on that. I assume to cover his tracks, he would be somewhere along the way in the Sunset Clown project, but I don't know. I don't know that answer. Somebody else might have insight on that. Yeah, Joe, this is another thing that has long gone on in our industry. I don't know if you have caught on enough about
right.
heterozygous and homozygous, but
no, yes, yeah. I've heard you talk about this before.
Yeah, the whole basically the concept is hets are not visual, so it requires the trust of the breeder, or these days DNA proof. But it's very common for somebody to say, "Oh, this is het something," just to jack up the price, and then 2 years later, if the person that buys it, the likelihood that they actually see through the 1 or 2 year time frame it takes to prove whether, or longer, because they breed it, then the female has to go through her whole reproductive cycle and the eggs have to hatch. So yeah, generally it's 2 years before a person finds out if something is legitimately het for a gene or not. Now with the genetic testing, it's different, but but for a long time, that was a very common problem in the industry that, you know,
Yeah.
you call up your Pennsylvania boy and you go, hey, I need to kick somebody's ass because of they lied to me about this hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but, and this is the problem, is this all this hearsay and all this stuff that would have been quiet drama in the past just gets thrown on, just gets piled on the guy. Oh, there was the one dude one time, he said this. Okay, there he is. I told you, he wears sunglasses at night inside. This is the kind of guy, you know, it all gets piled on. And, you know, your reputation's all you got.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, here, what about this? I mean,
It's
he'll still
probably,
be
it's
in
probably
business.
true. The problem is, it would be easier for him to be the guy Samson he's talking about. I don't know
Yeah.
Samson, or I don't know him very well. And I actually don't, he deals in different species than I do. The extremely high end, the high 4 figures and 5-figure snakes, you don't stay in business dealing those, because that pool of buyers is literally tiny. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's probably under 1,000 people. And you got to have so much trust with the people that you're buying from in that community. If he was, you know, peddling pet grade snakes at, you know, 26 shows across the Midwest a year, yeah, he probably would stay in business, and he would just have to have tough skin and know that people can't legally physically beat him up. And he just goes and does what he does and eats it every time he's in public for a year or two. And then people just like roll their eyes and are like, I don't buy from that guy. But I don't think he can continue at the caliber that he was operating at. I'm sure, look, if he sorted out in his mind how to sell fake hats and how to steal a snake, maybe he sorted out in his mind how he thinks he can rebrand, lay low, I'll sell them as somebody else that nobody knows. But in this day of people knowing IP addresses, verifying things, you know, there's digital ways to verify who people are.
Right. Yeah.
And the internet is such an important part of how we move things these days. I'm not saying he's going, his model is going to change drastically, and his brand and his name are toast, is really where he's at. If he figures it out from there, he figures it out.
If you but you all are on the inside. I mean, he could be selling to outsiders or people who are just getting into the industry. Well,
that's what I'm saying. Are you going to do that with, if I sell to an unsuspecting pet owner for $300-400 and I'm an evil dude, they're not going to know.
Right.
I can't move $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 snakes without a sterling reputation, you know?
Yeah. I guess I just have this, I don't know, from other parts of our society, people have a short memory. You know?
They do. I thought it was interesting because I was talking to my wife about this. She's like, well, yeah, it will blow over. People will forget. There'll be somebody that'll buy it.
Yeah.
That takes time. And the way that breeding snakes works in this world of high-end genes is every year it becomes less rare because of the offspring and more people working with it. So that price will come down. So say it takes 5 years for this to blow over. The snake is, in 5 years, that's going to be a few $1,000 snake, not a $10,000 or $15,000 snake. Yeah. So I don't, now clearly I don't think this person thought through all of that, but in my mind, you can't, what are you going to, I mean, you could breed it and use it, but as far as like actually like flipping it or moving it along, I don't know how. I mean, short of just taking pennies on the dollar, sure, there are enough unscrupulous people that somebody would go, yeah, I'll show up with $1,500 and you don't have to worry about it, and you don't see me and you get cash, but you're going to take, 10 cents on the dollar on it.
Right. Yeah. Understood. So it's 8:30, and we haven't talked about the good people.
The good people.
The good people.
Joe, if you
Kreative genetics.
If you had snakes and you fed them frozen rodents, where would you get your frozen rodents from?
I'd probably go to Cold Blooded Cafe.
You should. That's right. And if you went to Cold Blooded Cafe and you wanted a little discount to use their goods, what discount would you use?
I would use Proper 11.
There you go. You get 11% off on your order. Look at that. Joe's getting into the promos now. That's right, guys. Cold Blooded Cafe. Check them out. 11% off. They will be at Schaumburg this weekend. I'll be hanging out with them. And on Sunday, you can see me at the Red Line booth doing a little broadcasting if you want to get out there too. But Cold Blooded Cafe, 11% off, Proper 11. And it's not printed anywhere, but if you're listening and still paying attention, if your order gets to $250, which is not hard on frozen rodents, you can use a second promo code. You can use both FS Frank Sarah FS 250 for free shipping on top of the 11% off. So go give them a shot. You brought up Kreative Genetics. That's Keith out in Fresno, California. And Keith is working with the Stranger in single, double, and triple het combos, Clown, VPI, and Axanthic. I also have one of his Clown Axanthic breeder studs that we loaned, and we discussed how I would have his double visual snake in my possession. Where, this all makes sense. You could talk this out with people. You don't have to just grab the snake. So all joking aside, we will have hatchlings and lots coming from that project. It'll be available if you're into Clown Axanthic projects. Last but not least is Reagan, Renee, Royal Pythons. That's Charlie Ryan, who, by the way, Charlie, I missed you at the party. You from Cherry Hill, Jersey to Columbia, PA. Not that far, man. I missed you this weekend. Charlie's work at DG, Candy, G-Stripe, Krypton, and Pied. I'm not sure. I know for sure that he just hatched some sunset puzzle clown project pieces. And I don't know if he still has he had a 1.1 breeder size puzzle het clown project ready to go. If you actually want to spend some money and not steal your way to the top, go talk to Charlie at Reagan, Renee, Royal Pythons. Great dude. I've done business with him. One of the few people that I've ever handed the reins over to let guest host on the show. So I really like Charlie. Check him out. Check out Keith. All their stuff down below in the description. Joe, have you been to properroyals.com yet?
I have.
It's live,
this is exciting,
man. It's
right?
there. Yeah, it's there.
It's easy to navigate. You've got all of your snakes on there. You can peruse there, but you've got all of your content there that you can get to. There'll be a link there for this show as well. So it's easy. It's user friendly. It's fantastic. Go check out properroyals.com.
Thank you, man. I appreciate all the kind words about it, but if you have feedback on it, this is still sort of a beta test in project in the works. So let me know what you think of it. I love feedback. It's been a lot of work, and thanks to Husbandry Pro for developing that website for me. Joe, you got anything fun this week? And as we wrap up overtime here?
No, actually, no fun at all. Just a lot of projects that I'm trying to get done around the house, and not going anywhere. And I'm probably not taking a sip of alcohol for a few weeks, just to lose some weight.
Get level again. Reestablished. Well, post July 4th that's a good time for it. That's a good window for it.
Yeah.
Now to Labor Day is kind of a chill time. It's just summer doldrums, right?
How about you? What are you doing?
I'm going to Schaumburg, right, this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. I got some business to do Saturday morning before I head into Schaumburg. And then I'm going to enjoy the show. I'll go out that night in Schaumburg. And then Sunday, I will be doing some live broadcasting from the Red Line shipping booth, hanging out. And then I'm going to boogie home and be home for dinner. Or a late dinner on Sunday night here at the house.
Nice. Sounds like a weekend.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Well, thanks for this great conversation, and thanks for the insight into the community. It's been quite the thing this morning.
Yeah, Joe, I'll have to send you the memes, man. People are using AI now to make breaking news things. I'll send you the links, man. It's been a real thing. I don't know, maybe we could do a show sometime on like, do we need these horrible things to galvanize the good things or something? But too soon for that crap. We just got to revel in the drama at the moment, right?
That's right. Listen, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your comments. Really lively chat. We love that. I think that's a part of the show that makes this special, is the interaction with the people who tune in. So thank you so much for that. If you're tuning in and you haven't gotten on the chat, go ahead. Don't worry about it. There's no judgment here. We're just talking. So I just love to hear more and more from everybody. So go for it. Okay.
Until next time, guys. Thanks, everybody. See you same time, same place. Cheers.